A story by Governancepedia. The year is 399 BC. The sun is setting over Athens, the birthplace of democracy, art, and philosophy. But in a small courtroom near the Acropolis, a frail old man stands trial before 500 citizens. His crime? Speaking truth too boldly, questioning authority too deeply, asking the one question no government, no leader, no citizen is ever comfortable answering. Are we doing what is right? His name was Socrates, the first man in history to die for the idea of ethical governance. Socrates was not a politician, a priest, or a ruler. He owned no land, held no title, commanded no army. And yet, he was feared. Why? Because his words were sharper than any sword. He didn't attack people. He attacked assumptions. He walked through the streets of Athens, stopping senators, generals, and merchants to ask them questions that unraveled their certainties. You say you are just, but what is justice? You claim to serve the city, but do you serve it, or yourself? He believed that the foundation of any good society was not power, but reflection. To him, governance began not in courts or councils, but in conscience. As Athens grew wealthy, it also grew proud. Democracy turned into popularity. Politics became theater. And in this age of noise, one quiet man became unbearable. The young flocked to him, eager to learn how to think instead of what to think. But the powerful, those who thrived on unquestioned authority, saw danger. So they accused him of corrupting the youth, of disrespecting the gods, of destabilizing the system. Ironically, the man who cared most about truth was charged with destroying it. In his trial, Socrates had every chance to save himself. All he had to do was stop asking questions, to apologize, to bend the truth just a little. But that wasn't who he was. "I cannot stop speaking the truth," he said calmly. "For the unexamined life is not worth living." He stood before the jury, not as a rebel, but as a mirror, forcing them to see what governance without ethics becomes, a system that silences its conscience to preserve its comfort. When the verdict came, it was death by hemlock, a cup of poison. He could have fled. His students begged him to, but he refused. Because for Socrates, escaping would betray everything he had taught. So he drank the poison, not as a martyr, but as a man proving that principles are the highest form of governance. His final words were simple, almost serene. He thanked his executioner. He smiled at his students, and he reminded them that integrity outlives injustice. Centuries later, philosophers, lawmakers, and reformers would all trace their understanding of governance back to this moment, the day Athens learned that even a democracy must answer to ethics. From Plato's Republic to modern constitutions, from compliance codes to corporate oversight, the ghost of Socrates still whispers the same warning. Governance fails the moment it stops questioning itself. At Governancepedia, we honor voices like his, those who remind the world that oversight is not about control, it's about courage. It's about asking hard questions when silence feels safer. Because whether in politics, business, or society, ethics remains the oldest and most essential form of governance. Socrates showed us that truth doesn't fear scrutiny, it demands it. His death was not the end of philosophy. It was the beginning of accountability. And in every leader who chooses integrity over approval, his legacy lives on. At Governancepedia, we explore the stories of those who shape the principles of ethics, accountability, and leadership. The very roots of governance that guide our world today. If you believe in the power of integrity, knowledge, and ethical leadership, make sure to like, subscribe, and join us at Governancepedia. Because every great system begins not with rules, but with reflection.